Welcome to another installment of Cohort 1986. You've walked into our marketplace discussions where we highlight owners. Candace.
Hey guys, I'm Candace. So today we have another episode of our marketplace discussion, Meet the Owners. So this is a collaboration with BBOC, better known as the Black Business Owners of Charlotte, and also the Black Business Owners Corporation. So why are we here today? Guess what, guys? It's almost National Buy Black Week. Okay, National Buy Black Week is going to be June the 14th through June the 20th. So we're going to be featuring some of BBOC's members. And let me tell you, I am ecstatic about who we have today. These are products and services that we've been using in our house for a while now. And I actually need to go back and get some more. So, Ronnie, I'm going to kick it over to you to tell us a little bit about who do we have today.
So today we have Mrs. Kathy Fogle from Happy Cat Candles and Gifts. Happy Cat Candles and Gifts is the brainchild of creator designer Kathy Fogle. Kathy is also lovingly known by family as Cat. She creates a unique variety of handcrafted candles that look good enough to eat. Mm-hmm. The gift shop also features a beautiful selection of carefully curated merchandise created by local artisans, including all-natural body skincare, ceramics, jewelry, children's gifts, apparel, inspirational gifts, gourmet edibles, and more.
Yes, I know all about it from coming in the store.
So let's give a round of applause for Mrs. Fogle.
Yes.
Thank you all. I appreciate y'all having me on today. Yes. I'm excited to be here and looking forward to speaking with you all, get a chance to spend some time. So, yeah, I'm ready to jump right in.
First of all, we want to say it's an honor to have you today.
It is.
As people that frequent your store, we're just honored to have you. This is the candle queen.
Yes, that would be me.
Thank you.
Love the candle mills. Okay, love the candle.
I appreciate it.
So, Kathy, let's get started. So, want to talk a little bit about your background. So, I'm such a snoop every time I do this. So I was digging around. So I saw that, you were a cosmetologist and you started off with candles as a hobby. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So I started making candles back in 2004. Let me start over. I was a hairstylist. That was my profession for the last for 30 years, up until the point I started. Up until the time I started the store. Yeah. Candles was a secondary thing for me. Like I said, I started in 2004. So, a lot of people might think we just kind of popped up, on the scene, but this has been like a journey for me. Yeah. And what actually drove me to candles was I was just looking for something to clear my mind. I was going through some life changes, that kind of thing, just looking for something to do to just relax and enjoy myself. And it really stuck. Back then I called myself a different company and I was doing all kinds of other stuff, making soaps and making body butter, just kind of doing all of that. But one thing just really stuck with me, and that was the candles.
Right.
So with that, I just took it on. I would pick it up, start it, something would come up, life would happen, focus more on work, just different challenges would come up, and I would always pack the stuff up and put it to the side and just kind of focus on the needs that I had at the moment, in terms of making sure, bills were paid and doing all kinds of other things. And I actually have some experience as well in sales and marketing with other network marketing companies. So, that actually, I think, is what trained me to have like the tough skin and the mindset to actually like have a business and that stick-to-itiveness. Yeah. I think that I'm naturally a resilient person, but I really do have to credit some of that as well, some of that training to the business right now.
Wow. Yeah. When you talk about resiliency and you talk about business, resiliency in life is enough, but by turning it into a business, you're on a whole nother level. Okay. Right. So that's a whole nother level of resiliency. Right. So can you talk a little bit about, that transition from, hobby to, opening your first storefront? Right.
Yes. So during that transition, again, I was doing hair. So I would do hair in the morning, candles at night. I pulled the candles off the shelf. I mean, out of my closet back in 2016. I just drew a line in the sand. I was having a health challenge, and of course, as a hairstylist, most of us, when you don't work, you don't eat. You don't make any money. So, I was at that point in my life, and I'm like, okay, you know what? And I don't see myself sitting behind a chair, or standing behind a chair when I'm 65 years old. It's time to kind of start putting some other things, in place, some business that I can build that could run without me being there, present.
Right.
So in 2016, I launched. 2017, I actually did pop-ups all across Charlotte. That's just what it was. I launched with no money to actually physically start a business.
Right.
I pulled out old wax initially, separated by color best I could to create like some desserts and start snapping pictures. They did not look the way that they look. I would say that for all my candle makers out there who are like trying to figure out, how to do it. What do you do? I get so many calls. And at some point this year, I think I am going to focus in on that and start doing like some more training. But if you're already, working on it, just keep at it. My candles did not look the way that they do now back in 2016. I'm going to start showing some of those pictures too. Just to encourage people. It's a process.
Yeah.
But anything 2016 or 2017 pop-ups all year. At the end of that year, Jermaine Lee, owner of Noda at 28th Creative Studios. He's also in BBOC.
Okay.
But he gave me my first chance, a small space in that art studio.
That's awesome.
And I think I started with like 10 vendors in there. They put their items in. And we grew there. That's how we started to get a little more exposure, like as a store. Everybody kind of had exposure on their own or some sort of a following of their own that they were starting. Yeah. We all started pretty much at the same time. So we're growing up together.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah. 3 months later, a friend kept telling me, you need to apply for this contest that's going on at North Lake Mall. And it came to me 3 times. And that third time I was like, let me just sit down and fill this application out. So long story short, ended up winning the pop-up. I won the retail store. So I actually won it free for the first 6 months.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they actually wanted more than the candles. They were like, the candles are great. We love this. They're unique. We believe they're marketable. The gift shop, this would probably be an awesome idea too, because Hallmarks were closing. They didn't have a gift shop at the mall.
Yep.
So anyway, I went through the process and got started. And I have to say that they have really been awesome in terms of helping me to learn, because I have no retail experience. This is
right.
This is not what I do, or not what I did for a living. So it has been a learning process and a journey. And I feel blessed to be there and to be able to offer an opportunity to the other vendors that are there as well.
So you mentioned your other vendors. What made you want to have the other vendors there, and why is it important to kind of have people within your store working with you?
Well, one of the things that I thought of initially was, of course, I wanted to create a candle store, but I wanted it to be more of a gift shop, with like a happy feel, that awesome vibe where people come in, they feel good. And like I said before, in 2004, when I initially started doing everything, I was dibbling and dabbing in everything. I was making the candles, I was making soaps, I was making bath salts. And really, I started to think about how I wanted to gift shop to function. And I figured what better way to do that than to reach out to other people who are already perfecting that craft, who have an expertise in those particular areas. And then we all come together. And I just feel like that's much better than me trying to do 100 different things myself, especially when my passion was more towards the candles.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, I want to just shout out BBOC member Jermaine Lee.
Yes.
That is awesome. I mean, just kind of having that connection and him seeing the vision that you guys had, and giving you guys a space, giving you guys a shot. And I'm telling you, the world could use so much more of that. So
more Jermaine.
Yes, more Jermaine Lee.
I am forever grateful to Jermaine Lee, always.
Wow.
So Ms. Fogle, I do have a question for you. Oftentimes, we always hear about the struggles within the first year of opening up, especially a storefront.
Yeah.
Can you just kind of over brief overview of like the struggles that you faced and how you overcame them?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Oh my gosh, my first. Oh my gosh, we don't have enough time to talk about first year, honestly, because I really just didn't know what to expect going in. Like I said, I had no retail experience. My business was still a baby, really a year old or so, just kind of going in. So, and now I have this space where I'm not only operating a store, but I'm still trying to manage the vision of Happy Cat Candles.
Right.
But now I'm also, leading a team of other, somewhat new entrepreneurs who are also trying to build their brands. So I felt like I was wearing a lot of different hats. I didn't know I needed, there were certain things I didn't know I needed to have in place. Like I didn't understand like the whole, the way that the retail at the mall is set up. That's a totally different thing in its own. That's not the same as, maybe just starting in a shop, outside of the mall. It comes with a whole different set of, regulations and guidelines and 7 days a week, mall hours, so there are a lot of limitations that you kind of have to fall within. So I would say probably my first year, my biggest challenge, I think, was vendors. And when I say vendor, I don't mean necessarily like personalities and things like that. I just believe that I opened the door too quickly for new businesses too soon, who just may not have been ready.
Right.
For different reasons. And honestly, right now, I still have great relationships with, all of those vendors, except maybe one or two who just didn't get it, and that's going to happen. That was another thing too, I'm known and people know me. And I think that was something I dealt with in the first year was, oh my gosh, they just think I'm not like, a good person.
Right.
And, by year 2, I was over that. I was like, you know what? You make the decisions you need to make for the good of everybody, or we won't have anything at all. So that was something I had to really like develop in the beginning. Now I think I am a little more cautious and a little more selective as to the brands that I bring in, and only for, just for various reasons. Again, sometimes if you bring people in too soon and they're not ready, they get frustrated, and then it leaves a bad taste in their mouth. And I was thinking about that earlier. It was like when I was younger, my dad, he had some seltzer water. I will never forget this. He had seltzer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, Daddy, I want some of that. I want some of that. I want some of that. He's like, okay, you're not going to like that. You don't want this. This is not what you think it is. In my mind, as a child, I'm thinking it's Sprite, ginger ale, something like that. So that's what I thought it was. And he said, all right. And he gave it to me. Oh, my gosh. That was the most disgusting thing that I have ever tasted. And he made me drink it. He made me finish it.
Oh, man.
That was a lesson learned. Of course, it all came back up eventually. But to this day, you cannot get me to take a sip of seltzer. To this day.
Me neither.
To this day. So, just I use that as an example because I think that it could damage some of the younger entrepreneurs who want to get started because they get in because it looks really glamorous and it looks like, oh, it'll be fun and all my products are going to sell out, like the first day. And they get frustrated and a lot of them will just quit. And then it's like, oh, well, that doesn't work because my products didn't sell. So I'm just very cautious about that. Now I'm doing a better job and I'm starting to focus this year, actually starting like some training, so to speak, to like help to educate them and say, well, you know what, you may not be quite ready in this area. Let's work on, getting the products, a little more prepared so that it's able to scale. I have a lot of people that come in and say, I asked them, I said, well, what do you do? I do everything. I can do shirts. I can do cups. I can do candles. I make this, I do custom t-shirts. I do. And I'm like, wait. what are you known for? Like, what is your brand? What is it that you are taking to the market that you want to grow and eventually build into your business? So, just those kind of things I think were a little frustrating in the beginning because there was a lot of turnover, kind of in and out, trying to give, just wanting to open up to everyone. And now I believe that I actually have it. I'm proud to say that actually everybody that started with me in the beginning is actually still there, except for I think one young lady, but she may return because, she kind of closed down for COVID or whatever, just kind of being cautious. But anyway, that was probably my biggest challenge.
And so you touched on COVID. So how did you deal with the whole pandemic, and how has that affected your business, and how did you pivot?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so COVID was, I'm going to tell you first of all, when COVID hit, I felt like I was at that point in my business, I think that I had reached a point where I was just like totally burnt out. My business has so many moving parts. So the vendors, and then again, building my business, and then doing wholesale, and then, doing other things, sipping pour parties, and just doing a whole lot of different things at once. When COVID hit initially, and they said that the stores were going to close, I was like, oh my goodness, what in the world is happening? I had just signed up for a course. Well, I didn't sign up. I got selected to be a part of the Lord, I'm sorry. My mind is like all over the place.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Of course, at CPCC, Get Up and Grow program, they had selected, I believe, 20 business owners to be a part of that. And during that process, I was just getting a chance to sit down and learn like all of the things I needed to really implement to make the business successful, and to like work on the business as opposed to working in the business. Because not only was I working on everything else, but a lot of times I was in the store, covering the store, for hours as well. And towards the end of that year, I was actually covering the store, I think from November all the way through the holiday season. I worked the store every day from open to close. Just like, we needed it. We didn't have a whole lot of funds for employees. So you know what, if you don't have funds for employees, you need to cover those hours to make sure that things are going. So again, it kind of put me back in a position where I wasn't doing hair, but now I'm working the store. So working the store during the day, making the candles at night. And entrepreneurs that are listening, I want to let you know, it can be done by working your full-time job as well. You can work full-time and build a successful business, but you're going to have to work 8 hours a night, probably as much as you can on your business, the same way that you worked on your job, until it starts to kind of level out. But when COVID hit, honestly, I just said, well, you know what, Lauren, whatever this is, I thank you for it, and I'm going to sleep. The store is not going to open. Nobody is there. At that particular time, most of my business was in the retail store. So even though I had a website, I didn't have a huge, I didn't have a whole lot of production coming through my website. And some of the other vendors were in the same situation, or some of them had websites, and, and both. But I had a conversation with one of the vendors, Tanya Ford. I have to shout her out for making statements. One thing I love about everybody in the store too, we all bounce ideas off of each other. We go through different things, and we set up a call. She was like, well, I'm seeing this thing. Why don't we just try doing something online? So we did a Zoom. We all got together. We said, hey, this is what we have. We still have access to the store if we need to get our products. Try to figure out the best way to do it. And what we did was we created online pop-ups. Like every Saturday, we did we did a virtual vendor pop-up, and basically we marketed ourselves as the Happy Cat Candles Saturday live event, basically. We had to figure out how to do it. Facebook. We were able to use Facebook. Everybody was in their own location. So what we did was, those who wanted to participate, we advertised it. We set up a time grid.
Yeah.
And I would kick it off. So I would go live on my page or on the business page, usually both. And everybody else would create watch parties. Everybody else created a watch party. So it expanded our audience. And that's what we did for each other. So when we opened back up, I was shocked. Now, I have to say, too, everybody's websites took off immediately. It's like everybody's website shot like way up. That was the busy, and it was like right around Mother's Day, I believe, somewhere in there. That was the busiest. I thought I was gonna die. That was the busiest my website has ever been in the business. And when the store reopened, it was just like, boom. But I have to say, you know, it was bittersweet because it helped us in that sense, but at the same time, George Floyd happened. So then it was the BLM movement, and everybody wanted to shop Black. And because the gift shop, honestly, 99% of our vendors are all African American. And then I have a few things that I kind of bring into the store just to kind of have as, you know, retail, just things that we don't have or I don't know of anyone who has that here. But I mean, that shot the business up like through the roof. And I am ever so grateful too for everybody, you know, wanting to come in, being supportive. We started getting cash apps coming in. People were purchasing product, people coming into the store like, no, keep the change. I was like, oh, yes, goodness. And yeah, that was it. And I have to say, you know, it wasn't only Black people. It's just community wide. Our clientele is everybody. You know, we are Black owned. We are Black owned businesses. But we are supported by the Charlotte community. So I'm grateful for that.
I absolutely love that. I mean, you've just said so much. So I just really want to unpack for people. One, you know, you going out and continuing to do training to help to continue to make your business more successful. I mean, that speaks volumes. The second point of bringing people in and training them, right? So, you know, you kind of got into this and you found out some things that you didn't know, and you being able to pass that information on to others. I mean, that says a lot about who you are and the people who stand behind you. You know, just coming up together, working on that collaboration piece and just making it work, you know, coming up with that pop-up. That's such a wonderful idea.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes. I have learned through opening the business. You know, I started initially on my own and then actually coming in, creating gift shops. And the people, I tell you what, the minds that we have in that store and the conversations that we have when we're together and apart and, you know, them one-on-one, it is just, it's a blessing. It really is. It really is. And I have to also shout out, now I have so many good brands.
Please shout them out. Shout them out.
But I am super proud of Devin and Marquita Carter for Blanket Pancakes and Syrup. You know, they are actually growing and blowing up there. I know Janice has ventured off and she's actually opened up her second location for Emerald Vinyl. You know, supply and vinyl store. Everybody's doing really well. Coco Cutie, you know, her brand.
Those are so cute for the babies.
Yes. Coco Cutie is amazing. Let's see, I know I'm gonna start like saying stuff. Seabury Brands is there with their seasonings and organic and Soleil Essentials. And I mean, we just have a ton of great people. Kimani, of course, making statements with the t-shirts and Slay by Shay. I'm kicking Slay by Shay, excuse me, out of the nest little by little. Products, you know, she's like, oh, you know, but I have loved watching her grow and blossom. You know, I think she said she had just started her business when I found her. And, she is growing. So and anybody, if I didn't call a name, please, you know, charge it to my head and not my heart. But I'm just proud of everybody who's there. Everybody takes pride in their product.
Yeah, and tell them a little bit about, like, some of the different things that they have in the store that you guys have in the store. I know I could probably name some, but you probably got the whole list. I'm probably like, okay, Candace wants candles, Candace wants
right. And that's the thing. We want to make sure that everybody has things that they need on a regular basis, and then some unique gift items that they might not see everywhere, or they just didn't know was created by or offered, by a local Black-owned business. So I know we have Calvin's Coffee in there. Dessert Destination. Mary's there, so we do have like fresh cakes and cake slices and cookies and things like that. And she just branched out and opened her own space, so now that she can do her baking all in that location and service all of her corporate customers as well. We have barbecue sauce, Big Bollies, and we have Brody Q barbecue sauce as well. We have seasonings by Seabury brands. We have all natural skincare products like handmade soaps, body butters. We have 4 different brands of that. So Keimani, Balm of Nature, Organic Beauty Supplies, Soleil Essentials. We have t-shirts. We have a couple of different t-shirt vendors like State of Funk and I just said it, Making Statements. I'm telling you, I have so many people in my head. Yeah, La Bag Boutique. So it's like handbags and jewelry, shades, and there's just so much. I can sit here all day and just keep like naming different things.
Exactly. I'm telling you guys, you have to go check out this store. I mean, as soon as you walk in, you got the Cocoa Cutie at the door, and you walk to the right, you got your candles, your beauty supplies. To the left, you have all of your gourmet food. Every time I go to the mall, there's like one place I'm always like, I need to stop here. I need to go here. So I'm all for it. So another question for you. So with National Buy Black Week, what will you guys be offering for the people?
Okay, so I know for myself with the candles, I am just going to put all of the candles on sale, 20% off that week. So get it, and y'all. Lord, they already try to kill me trying to keep the shelves stocked. And that's a good thing. I'm grateful for that. But it is kind of tough to keep them stocked. So I'm gonna try to get them stocked and keep them stocked all week.
And we appreciate you.
Yes, I'm ramping up, production to make sure I can have, enough there. So get them while you can. I'm gonna say while supplies last. All of the other vendors in the store, that want to participate, they will have signage on their space. Nice. Most will probably offer discounts anywhere from 10 to 25% off, depending on what they can actually offer for their brand. But it's going to be fun. We're excited about it. Most likely we will have some giveaways, while supplies last, as people come in. But we're excited. We're excited to host everyone. So it's going to be fun.
So I have a question for you. What are some of the tips that you may have for younger entrepreneurs, just kind of looking to get in with a retail space or just in the business in general?
Okay, so business in general, I would say be patient. Especially right now. Like I think I'm kind of like I am in a different generation. So I just kind of crossed over the 50 mark. Well, I just kind of I'm about to cross over the 50 mark.
Girl, you don't look like you're 50 at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
During COVID, that was my 50th birthday. So, so I think sometimes when I'm talking to like the younger generation, maybe like 20, 25, they're really like gung-ho. They want to get it done. But if it doesn't happen like in a month, or if it doesn't happen, within like 6 months, 7 months, it's like they scrap that and then run over to do something else, But what I've learned is, like I said before, I started doing candles in 2004.
Right.
This was I launched in 2016. So that's 12 years of like product development, still trying to work it out. You still don't have a clear vision of what your packaging should look like, what your logo is going to look like. What does your brand speak to? Especially if you're going to tie your brand to yourself. Like I called mine Happy Cat. And really just over the years, people just know me. My attitude is It's pretty consistent. When you see me, I'm gonna be, unless I'm in like deep thought and I have like that resting face that's just terrible. But for the most part, I am gonna be like laughing and upbeat. You know, I think I've lived long enough to know that even when things take a dip, they will come back up, and when they come back up, you've learned like so much more during the times when things are down. So you know, I would say really take the failures or what you perceive to be as failures as the lessons. That's where all your growing is. You don't grow when you're like on top, you know, so to speak, or when you're doing good. You learn everything in those moments when you feel like you're failing. So true. You know, when you're in those times, just take it, sit there, get comfortable in it. Don't stay in it, but sit there enough until you have acquired what you need in that moment to take you to that next level. And entrepreneurship is like that. Most people think success kind of goes up on an angle like this, like you just shoot straight up. And it is not. It's like this. It's like, and periodically it will be a huge dip. But after the biggest dips, just from my personal experience, has always been the biggest comeback. So, you know, and you know, and I'm gonna segue into you know, I mentioned something to you guys earlier, but I'm gonna segue this into it and show and kind of tell people what I'm talking about. And I think one of the reasons that people can relate to my story is the fact that you know, I started a business that was totally out of you know, what I had learned and what my career was. But I also share, like, you know, the struggles, the ups, the downs, the challenges. You know, retail is different. In COVID, you know, I did get an invitation to go open up at Carolina Place Mall, which was awesome. You know, it was an awesome opportunity. It was a temporary lease, of course. You know, I knew that in the beginning. And, you know, I sat there and I was like, okay, so does it make sense? Can we do it? And, you know, I did it, even in the face of COVID, you know, while everything was going on. And I have to say our lease is actually ending at the end of this month. And the sales just weren't there. The sales just weren't there. You know, I think we had a lot of barriers even going in. You know, COVID was the biggest factor. And then there was some, you know, like gunshots, you know, a couple of different times in that particular
I heard the news.
You know, so, and I had some employees who were just like, you know what, I can't come back. I just, you know, there were just a lot of different things, you know, up against us at that point. But I'm the type of person that when I commit to something, I commit to it. And because I have all of these people who are depending on me and employees, you know, my intention was to stay. So when I called to check, like, hey, where's my new lease? They were like, well, you know, we're not going to renew the lease. So, you know, this is going to be it for the end of the month. And I honestly, peace like came over me because I really feel like numbers don't lie. Numbers just don't lie. And we said, you know what? By Black Week is going to be our last week at Carolina Place. We're going to go through that. We're going to go through Father's Day. And then we are going to
transition.
Well, everybody was already at North Lake. So a couple of vendors who weren't at North Lake will also be at North Lake. Right. They're just going to come over to the store as well. So we'll have full space. And then we're also opening, I have another space at North Lake as well that I was using. I had a production space that I opened last year during that time to actually make the candles, you know, do all that good stuff. Well, as you can see behind me, this is my production space at home. And now I have converted like everything back at home. So I have like these these candle pots and everything that I'm working with now to help, you know, speed up production. But we are actually going to turn that space back into our pop-up space that we used to have before, you know, to offer trainings and classes and awesome. Product tastings and product demos. Everything we did in the store before, this location is now becoming an extension of that. So, you know, mall hours are getting ready to increase again. So it was really a blessing in disguise. So I don't see it as like failure, or I don't see it as a loss, so to speak. We gained more customers over there. We got the experience over there. I realized that we don't need 2 locations over there.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Because it is really a lot of work. These vendors come in, they travel in and drive and restock. And anyway, so I said all that to say that we get ready to.
But you said a lot there, because sometimes when things come to an end, we're like, oh no. But just having that peace. Right? Yeah. So that peace, that understanding. Sometimes the end is just a new beginning. So that's something I tell people all the time. I think sometimes we have to get uncomfortable with ending things, to move on and move forward. So
yes, and that is key. That is something to really, you have to know when it's time. Now, me personally, I'm that type of person. Sometimes I hold on a little bit longer than I'm, like I said, just trying to stay committed. And, like, okay, God, well, you just show me what to do.
Right.
And when I called to have that conversation, I was expressing like my plans, and God's plan was like, no. So, so sometimes he has to close doors for me.
That's it.
So I feel like, during different things, don't only celebrate when you get open doors, but also celebrate when they close too, because they also lead into different opportunities.
That was powerful. That was awesome. So I have to ask you, so how do artisans and vendors sign up to get in your store? Like, what's the process if they want to get some of this great information that you have?
Okay, so right now I have a vendor application set up on my website.
Okay.
Now I have to say, those forms come in like so often. I have so many people on those forms. To now I have to like put a disclaimer like on the sign at the store to let people know we just don't have the capacity to go through all of them.
Right.
So they will get a call back, if we decide that we can kind of go a little bit further and their product would work. But that's really how I collect the leads right now. Sometimes people will come in. Sometimes people come in and just drop product off. And I'm grateful for that. I appreciate it. The only thing is, when the product comes in, I have to be so selective, because in the store, I try not to do too many of the same thing. Right. And I have to say probably 85 to 90% of the applications are bath and body products. They're like bath salts, body butters, candles. And of course, we're just not doing candles. It's because it's a candle brand. It's my brand. So I'm and I don't know. I've been thinking about that a little bit, but we'll get into that at some point down the road. I just want to figure out how to do it and how to collaborate and to make it happen to where everybody, because I believe it's enough sunshine for everybody. I do.
For sure.
And I do know that there are some other Black-owned candle companies in Charlotte who may want to participate. But like I said, we'll kind of get into that as we go along and see who really wants to be a part. But outside of that, and then I get a ton of people who want to do t-shirts. T-shirts take up more space, and then so I really look for unique. I'm really looking for unique gift items. If you're a vendor out there and you have something unique for men that's not beard oil or beard balm, like, those are the things I get the most. Those are the things I get the most. So I'm trying to get like some things that are a little more different. A little.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, I hope that some new people come in, because I'm always in there. So I'm always looking around. I like variety. And that's one thing that I love about the store is just the variety. Every time we come in there, I'm like, oh, what's this? What's that? So I mean, we're always in there browsing. So, I mean, I think it's great that, you not only saw an opportunity for yourself, but you also made opportunities for others. So, I mean, I commend you for even doing that.
Well, thank you.
That is absolutely wonderful. Well, absolutely wonderful.
I did have one thing to add.
Yeah.
And, I just thought about it, because a lot of times people will come in too and say, well, how much is it? And that type of thing. And really, I kind of look at it and I gauge it, accordingly, because it really depends on where they are in their business. It depends on what they're doing now. Like, are you already selling somewhere? What is your activity like outside of the store? Because the store should really be an extension of what you're already doing, and not a place where you just pop in and start. Because you'll get frustrated. It looks glamorous, but like I said, it is a ton. It is a ton of work. And you're taking on an expense. You are taking on an expense, and if you can't handle that expense, or if it's going to put the store in a hole as a bind, then that affects everybody else. So everybody that we bring in needs to be at a certain level of their business, so to speak. They don't have to be fully established, but if you want to bring in like baked goods, my first question is going to be, are you serve safe certified?
Right.
Oh, so that kind of thing. Have you already taken the steps to do the types of things that you want, to bring it to a
Right. And those are really good points too. As people are going to business, making sure that you have a license, making sure that you have the right certifications, making sure that you have those things in place. So those are very important points.
Very important, very important. And so, Miss Kathy, I do have one final question for you.
Okay.
So, support. How has what is your support system like?
Oh my goodness. My support system is, first of all, God. I do believe in the power of prayer. I would have to say that is number one. I do rely on the management staff at North Lake for, some things I will call them just to ask questions or what have you, because, I'm a business owner. In the very beginning, they were like, okay, well, do this, but they don't necessarily have a say in the business operations. But if I need to ask a question, or if I'm not sure about what's what, I will go to them. They do help us with some of the marketing on social media, occasionally when we have things to share. But I would have to say, yes, they open the door, and my support system is some of the other small business owners in Charlotte that started with me at the same time. I would have to say Calvin from Calvin's Coffee.
I'll have to check that out.
Talk a great bit, and she can understand, we can understand the different challenges that we shared, in the beginning. I remember we met actually in 2017 it was a Dudley entrepreneurial ship meeting that used to happen, and actually it may still be happening, but she and I would be there at a church uptown Charlotte every Monday night. The meeting would be going on, and we would set up a vending table outside. She would have coffee, and I would have candles, and we forged a relationship. We were both pretty much getting our businesses off the ground. And I'm so proud of her too, everything that she's doing in Charlotte right now. So I would say I talk to her a good bit, when I'm having a challenge or what have you. The different vendors in the store who right now are, we're experiencing the same things. We kind of go, back and forth, and kind of share ideas and encourage each other and share resources.
That's important.
So my family, of course. Brandon, of course, he is a huge support system, kind of holding things down when I'm out doing my thing. And same thing, he has a thriving career also. Gosh, who else? There's so many people. I have like friends and family in the beginning who invested, money, and some invested time, to kind of help the business to grow and flourish. So really, it's a community effort. It is. It's a community effort.
Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Did I say Small Business Center at CPCC? Okay, in the Small Business Center at CPCC. Yes, I cannot leave them out. And I would encourage anybody who has not to reach out to the Small Business Center at CPC Charlotte Uptown. They have so many free resources that you can get access to for your free resources. I'm telling you, things that you would never think, things that you wouldn't think that you could. Another resource would be
that's a great one for people.
MECED. MECED, and they are a part of Mecklenburg County and the Charlotte school system.
Yeah.
But for those who are looking for employees, like in the beginning, I had quite a few interns.
Mm-hmm.
I had quite a few interns through MECED in the very beginning, to kind of help offset those costs.
Yeah.
Now, both stores are fully staffed. So we're fully staffed. And periodically we will get an intern or two to kind of come through to get some job experience, and that kind of stuff. So if you need interns for your business and MECED pays them.
Wow.
So MECED, that helps. That's a huge resource. Wow. For vendors who have, or for small business owners who have.
Wow. Those are two good tips.
Yes. Check them out. And if you want, I can send you the information a little bit later to, some of the folks that I work with over there. And Anissa, she is actually the head, the head person over there at MECED of Charlotte. But that's a huge resource because honestly, that is going to be your biggest expense outside of your rent, for your space. You have to have employees. And at a mall, that's 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
During mall hours.
Oof.
10
to 9.
10 to 9. And, and we're actually getting ready to go back to 10 to 8 here coming in July. But eventually it will go back to 10 to 9. But that is a huge, that is a major expense. And when I think about that, how in the very beginning, I couldn't afford to pay more than one or two people to work the store, and I really had to fill in a lot of those hours myself, or bring in interns. To now we have a staff of 8 employees.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then an intern. So it's like, awesome. I look at those types of things as growth. Sometimes it won't necessarily be like all of your growth won't always be your money, your income growing, but now I don't work the store. I can focus on production and I can focus on growing the business because the store is covered. So that is worth its weight in gold to me. Something that I couldn't say, a year ago. So I just want people to be mindful too, like when you're measuring your growth, just don't think of it every time in terms of money. Like, are you able to go see your family on the weekends now? Are you able to get out, to enjoy yourself from time to time, without being caught up in your business, all the time.
That was so good. I mean, those 2 tips, like, we're gonna post this on our website too, just for people and circulate that online. I mean, the CPCC with the free resources and the MECED, I think both of those are like lifesavers, within themselves. For people, that are starting businesses, thinking also this program, Get Up and Grow. That's something else that people can look into. So those are great.
That program, and it may still be open, I'm not sure, but when one program closes, they open another one.
Okay.
And I met some amazing small business owners and forged relationships with business owners in Charlotte during our class. We were a part of the spring cohort of 2020. And actually when everything shut down, it gave me a chance to really focus on finishing that course up online. But there is an application process, for that.
Okay.
So, and then they select, the businesses that are going to participate because you do have to meet like some minimum requirements to get in there. But the free business resources that they have, that's open to everybody. And sometimes, this just lack of knowledge. You just don't know it's out there, and you're searching online and there are people there who are just waiting for people to help. I was like so surprised. So surprised. And their goal is to help you to work more on your business than in your business. Usually entrepreneurs wear all the hats. It will teach you how to delegate.
I'm telling you, delegation is the word.
If you want to grow, you need to be able to delegate. It's your baby. Yes, you want to hold on to it. But, just like any newborn, mama gonna cover it. Don't touch my baby. Nope, no kisses. You're making sure everything is good. Nobody can watch them. And then when they're 2, you like, go to your auntie. You can't wait to get them out of the house.
That sounds like what happened to us today.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's what I had to learn how to do. I had to delegate responsibility. You know, these are all business owners. You know, right. At that point, it's like, okay, you know what? You get a key, and you get a key. You get a key.
You get a key. I trust you. I trust you.
And lock up. And lock the door. Make sure the door locked. Okay.
And the alarm is on.
And the alarm is on. I mean, it's so now you can turn the alarm off from anywhere. Yeah. So technology.
All right, Miss Fogle, how can people reach you?
People can reach me on my website. It's Happy Cat Candle Store, and it's happy, and it's KAT Candle Store at gmail.com. They can call the main line. Now, if you call the main line, it basically forwards to me. That was my original candle line, so I kept it. But it goes to like a switchboard. But it's 704-490-3638. And the number to the North Lake store is 980-207.
Okay.
0439. 980-207-0439. That's nice. And the Carolina Place store, you know, up and through Father's Day is 980. Oh God. That's why I always keep the other one. That number is 980-256-2005.
Okay.
Yep.
But you guys can always go to the website. So happycatcandlestore.com.
Yes. And you know what? And for you all that are on tonight, I do have a special going on my website right now. So all the soy jar candles are buy 3 get 1 free. And then also you can use a special code. It's not listed on the site, but if you use the code ENJOY15, you can also save 15%.
Nice.
Is at Happy Cat Candle. That's not valid in store, but it's on happycatcandles.com.
Okay, cool. Okay. Great. So, Rodney.
So, if you're interested in learning more about Cohort 1986, we're available at cohort1986.com. We're available on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. When we get these interns, TikTok in the future. That's past my era.
I think that's all we're gonna have TikTok.
That's the only we're gonna have TikTok. And again, Cohort 1986 on all platforms. That's how you'll be able to find us. Candace, talk about the BBOC.
Yeah, so if you're interested in BBOC, if you're interested in learning more about membership, please head over to bboclt.com. And there's also information there about National Buy Black Week. Just a reminder, National Buy Black Week is June the 14th through June the 20th. All right.
Can I say one more thing? I am so sorry.
Yes.
I cannot let this broadcast close without thanking Cathay Dawkins.
Yes.
I have to say, Cathay and I, you know, we communicate, you know, behind the scenes, and we kind of keep in touch and everything. I have not met him in person yet.
All right.
So I am so looking forward to the day that we actually have a chance to actually sit down face to face. But he is an awesome leader. Leader in Charlotte, and I cannot let this close without, you know, mentioning him and just congratulating him on all his success. And actually, he inspires me as well. Yeah, he's doing what I'm doing as well, but on a much larger scale. So thank you, Cathay, and thank you for interviewing me today. I appreciate you all.
No problem, and thank you for coming. Sharing your expertise and wisdom, and
thank you for being a beacon to others.
Yes, and I know that when people see this, they will get something out of this. The nuggets you drop were invaluable.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys found something useful.
This was great, and I'm ready to go get me some more candles. So,
we might make that drive.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.